Well, moving on, you did another one this week from the band Three Steps to the Ocean, which sounds awesome, by the way, just the name.
That's actually what attracted me to it. I was looking for stuff to check out, and I see Three Steps to the Ocean. That's a cool band name.
Yeah.
Basically, they kind of ride the line between sludge metal and post-rock on their new album. The album is called Scents, like smells, like scents, not like cents, like dollars and cents.
Like not 50 cent.
Definitely not 50 cent. So it's like heavy, like sludge, but there's a lot of kind of atmospheric sounds, like post-rock. But I think what makes it really interesting is there's a lot of synthesizers throughout the album, which you don't see in a lot of post-metal. And I think it does a really good job of tying all the pieces together.
Yeah.
Whereas, a lot of sludge bands, it's bass guitar, bass, guitar, drums, maybe some vocals,
right?
But a lot of times it can be disjointed. Where I think the synthesizers are so subtle, because a lot of times it's just kind of in the background, like you can hear it.
I was gonna say, so it's not overly done.
Yeah, it's not like crazy keyboards or weird melodies or anything.
That's good.
But it keeps things kind of moving really well, and they're really it's not fully instrumental, but there's not necessarily lyrics. There's some screaming in one song, but it almost seems more like setting the mood kind of screaming as opposed to lyrical screaming.
Right.
It's a really good album. I mean, it's only a couple tracks, but all in all, you get a little bit of everything. Because I mean, the drumming actually is pretty impressive.
Right.
And it's not like you were talking about with M-Pire of Evil. There's breakdowns, but it's not like that stupid, ridiculous hardcore breakdown, which is like, look how fast I can play.
Yeah, just basic chugging and
exactly.
Yeah.
The breakdowns in here are like really well thought out and constructed.
Right.
And I think that's what keeps albums like
using
this.
actual chords instead of drop D.
Yeah, exactly. And just slamming your instrument.
Yeah.
So I mean, they do a really good job of kind of playing off each other, and I think honestly, if you're interested in kind of the instrumental post-metal scene and you like drums, this is a good album to check out, because I think it really displays some great musicianship. Now, speaking of great musicianship, you got to do a review this past week on the release day, in fact, for the new album from one of our favorites, Epica.
Yes, I did.
Now wait, Simone Simons and Epica.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. In this album, you almost want to say Mark Jansen and Epica more than anything, because the album's called Requiem for the Indifferent, and it's a lot more aggressive and just different than their past albums. Mark Jansen really jumps at you with some monstrous growls in this one, and I mean like constant, like throughout the album, like verses of growls, not just here and there or in the bridge like they did in their past couple things. He's used a lot. His vocals are used a lot in this one, and I think it works out good for them, especially for change. You always want to kind of change it around. You don't want to come out with the exact same album like AC/DC did for a couple of years in a row.
It's worked for them though.
And
a couple of years in a row. You mean an entire career?
Yeah. So I mean, it blew me away.
No, wait, I gotta cut you off here. Honestly, AC/DC, you could really just change every name of the album to include the words Back in Black.
Yeah.
So their latest album was Black Ice. It could have been Back in Black Ice. High voltage black. Back in Black,
folks,
high voltage.
We're going to cut to a commercial here while Darrell vents, and then we'll be back in one.
I just want to point out, I'm not complaining at all. I think they're fucking great. But anyway. So back to Epica, Mark Jansen.
Yeah. AC Epica. But I mean, Simone Simons, she does her thing as usual. Sounds like an angel. Looks like an angel. I mean, anyways, she really, there's a couple ballads on there where she takes over for the vocals and really just hypnotizes you. And they have some wicked solos in there as well that just seem to impress me every time I listen to an Epica album. I feel like they really outdone themselves this time, and I really like the change. I don't know how fans are taking it with a lot more growling and whatnot, but I mean, it's still symphonic, it's still gothic, it's still has that dark side to it. it's just a lot more aggressive now. I would say, some of the guitars are a little heavier and whatnot. A lot more chugging going on throughout some of the verses. And
they're really evolving. They're really getting heavier. They're kind of taking the heavier edge to the symphonic metal approach.
Yeah, and I think it's great. It's a new look at it, especially, for their sound. From what, you're getting something new and awesome at the same time from an awesome band.
I mean, you think between his work with Mayan and what he did with Diabulus In Musica, Mark Jansen is...
He's a busy guy.
Yeah, he's a busy guy, and he's just getting better and better with each effort.
And it's not like you can just say, like, oh, like that sounds like this, like that sounds like that. Like they're all different, They all have, like, a distinct sound to it, So it's not like he's just, coming up with a line and using it in every band that he's in, So, very talented guy. But, yes, definitely pick up the album, Epica. Requiem for the Indifferent. Check it out. I think we have another one here that you did.
Yep.
This past week, and it is Barren Earth.
Barren Earth.
They're back.
They're back, and I couldn't be more excited about this. And I think this ties in perfectly to what you just said about Mark Jansen. He's doing all of these different things, but it's not like he's doing the same thing in each thing that he's doing. Yeah. Everyone is different.
Right.
And it's the same thing with Barren Earth. In Barren Earth, you have the singer from Swallow the Sun. You have guys from Moon Sorrow, Amorphous, and Creator in the band, and this band sounds like none of those bands. It sounds like I can't say it sounds like none of them, because obviously the guy from Swallow the Sun has a very distinct vocal style, but it's so different than the sum of its parts. It's not like it's Swallow the Sun meets Amorphous. It's a little bit of everything, but it's psychedelic 70s progressive rock metal is the best way I can describe it.
That's crazy.
The keyboards in here sound like electric piano half the time, so there's this like really weird like Pink Floyd vibe going on.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's that vibe with clean, like airy vocals, and then he comes in and just destroys the place with his growls. And dude, I could listen to him growl every fucking day, and usually I do because I'm listening to one of the albums he's on.
Yeah.
But he absolutely tears the shit down, and I think that makes the album so amazing because it's just so there's a back and forth between melodic and heavy, and it's just incredible.
Yeah.
One song I really wanted to point out, and it's one I actually got stuck on today. I had it on repeat for quite a while. Is the song "As It Is Written." It has this keyboard melody in it that sounds like something straight out of the late 70s, early 80s, almost like the... have you ever heard the song The Final Countdown? It's the final countdown.
Yeah.
You've heard that song.
Oh, yeah, that melody, yeah.
It's like that. The keyboard melody is so fucking catchy, and in the background the guitars are catchy, and the vocals come in clean, and then he just screams, and it just blows my mind.
Yeah.
It amazes me that a band said, hey, that's a good idea. We should put those things together. It's like, the first person to put peanut butter and chocolate together. Everyone's probably like, you're fucking crazy. And then you're like, oh, it's delicious, Mr. Reese's.
You're fucking crazy.
But so I have great things to say about this album, and I think it's just as good, if not better, than their last album. Yeah. I think this one's going to grow on me even more. The first time I listened to it, I liked it but didn't love it. The second time I listened to it, I liked it more. And after listening to it, probably 3 times all the way through today, I fucking love it. It's absolutely everything I wanted it to be. So, that pretty much covers just about everything we did for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. Caught you guys up.
Yep,
missed anything.
I've got a couple more, and we'll probably talk about some more next week. But just wanted to hit a couple quick news and notes things before we let you guys back to doing whatever you're doing, jacking off or watching TV or whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
Melissa Furlack-Koch has left Echo Terra. The news was announced yesterday, I believe.
That's right.
It seems to be a mutual split. Her quote on the whole thing was, "There's no drama, it just didn't work." So she left. So I guess they're moving forward, starting a new album. And I don't know what their singer situation is going to be, but that's a loss.
So it's not like she's like joining another band.
At this point, she says she doesn't know what she's going to do next.
Yeah.
So, but we wish her the best, obviously, because she's been nice to us.
Yeah.
And then to touch on one other thing, Metalocalypse is coming back.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The good folks at Metal Underground did a review with Brendan Small, who is seemingly as awkward in interviews as he is in real life. talking about his new album, the Brendan Smalls Galacticon, as well as Season 4 of Metalocalypse and the impending Death Clock Death Album 3. I guess we'll just call it that for now.
Yeah, that works.
Saying he might actually have fans vote on which songs make it on the album because there's so much music from Season 1 and 2 that didn't make it onto the first two Death albums.
That people still want to hear.
Season 3, which obviously there was no album tied to that, so there's
Right.
songs on there, and then stuff from Season 4. So he's got a ton of material.
Yeah.
He could probably do, 2 full albums.
Yeah.
My vote is for him to do a Snakes and Barrels album and a Zaz Blamey Mataz album. Maybe even a Planet Piss album.
Oh, that'd be great. Planet Piss.
Somebody, who knows him, if you guys know him, get on the phone and
Yeah, it's a good idea.
throw that out there to him.
Yeah, I will get on the phone, actually.
Yeah, actually, hang on. We're just
Let me
gonna
throw him
hold
a
on.
text right now.
Yeah, shoot him a text. But he also suggests you follow him on Twitter. He's going to be releasing clips from the Brendan Smalls Galacticon on his Twitter in the near future. And definitely check out the interview on Metal Underground because the whole story of how the album came to be is pretty interesting. How he had studio time and the Death Clock contracts hadn't been signed, so he and Gene Hoglan had studio time, so they just recorded. So check that out. So now, Justin, I think there was one last thing you wanted to say before we were all said and done. Something about what we're doing next week.
Yes. Next week, Sorrow Eternal, the podcast, will be recorded live in front of a studio audience.
Yep, we got a big crowd coming. We're going to try and get Chester to be there for it because this is basically celebrating just about our 1 year anniversary.
Yeah, and he was there for that.
Yep. So the first podcast. That's right. We seems so long ago.
Yep.
We're going to be live in front of a studio audience. Can you believe that?
It's crazy.
It's going to be unbelievable. I'm so excited about it.
You can't miss this one, guys.
No, you got to check it out. We'll have some stuff to talk about. We'll look back on a year of operating this site and talk about some reviews and some highs and lows and. We're going to sell tickets, but, we just decided to just invite a bunch of people. And how many do you think we have coming?
I was going to say, we'd sell out fast if we made tickets for the event. I don't know. 50? More than that?
Probably a little more than that, maybe. Probably between 50 and 100, though.
Yeah, like 50 and 1,000
Yeah,
around there.
250 and 111 million. But, I think you guys don't necessarily understand how popular we are. Just the other day, Justin had a guy come up to him and say, "Aren't you the Sorrow Eternal guy?" And that's a true story.
Yes.
We're not even making that up. We actually said, "Aren't you the Sorrow Eternal guy?" So, we're becoming underground classic.
We don't do autographs, though. Or pictures.
Yeah, well, I'll sign an autograph.
I won't.
Oh.
I'll hawk a loogie for you. On your shoe. Bitch.